A lot of developing news, so let's get right to it with my political panel tonight. Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, syndicated radio show host Chris Hahn join me live. All right, guys, the first thing I want to talk about is the Mexico deal. And the president is saying no more catch and release. They're going to remain in Mexico and until their claims are individually approved in court, a basic catch and detain. Now, Charlie, how is he going to do that? I mean, Mexico reports are they've agreed, but the reports are also that they don't want to admit it because it's going to make their people upset. Because if you think about it, this caravan is wreaking havoc as it goes through Mexico.
That's right. And if true, this is a very, very big win. Because this should not be solely the responsibility of the United States. I mean, this caravan has traveled hundreds of miles through Mexico. At some point, our ally in Mexico is going to have to step up and be a partner in helping process these thousands of applicants for asylum. And look, we are a very generous nation. In fact, we're the most generous nation ever to exist. But unfortunately, because of certain special interests, the asylum process is being taken advantage of. And there probably are some people within this caravan that truly do need the help of asylum.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's being used for political motivations and actually cheapens the individuals that need political asylum when it happens in these sort of caravans of individuals.
Chris, what about the fact that asylum seekers from all over the world come here legally, but for some reason Central Americans think they can just walk in and demand their constitutional rights once they're on American land?
Well, I don't know that it's so much a demand as an ask. Look, they're on the other side of the border looking up at the Border Patrol
asking to be let in. Well, it clearly is a demand. They're not asking to be let in. They are secretly being let in, demanding to be let in, as opposed to going to a port of entry and asking to be let in.
Well, you know, the president could limit the size of the people walking here or coming here through other means if he just reinstates the policy he got rid of at the beginning of the administration that Obama had in place, where people could apply for asylum in their home country. Now, the president eliminated that policy. I think he should consider bringing it back right now.
What do you mean he eliminated it? When did he eliminate that, Chris?
One of the first actions he took was to get rid of a lot of President Obama's executive orders. This was a good executive order. The president should issue the same executive order allowing people to seek asylum in their home countries. Therefore, it will make these caravans smaller and less burdensome on our allies in Mexico.
Okay, so you think someone marching in a caravan is going to say, look, it's because of the executive order, either by Obama or President Trump, it doesn't really matter. There is a law.
Well,
you
had they sought asylum,
in their home, Central America, I'm showing up. Go ahead, Charlie.
Had they sought asylum in their home country, they wouldn't need to walk here to wait for it.
Walk here? You think they walked
big problem is that we have
like Obama said, and they got here in a couple of weeks? You think they're just walking? Go ahead, Charlie.
Right. If Chris's logic, stood any merit of, cross-examination, then that would have completely ended all sort of asylum-seeking illegal immigration under the Obama era, which we know not to be the case, that there was an influx of illegal immigration during the 8 years of Obama. And so, look, here's the big problem, is that we have a porous border. In fact, our border is a complete joke. And the president is correct where he says a nation without borders is not a nation at all. And the reason you've seen the influx of illegal immigration is because you start to hear politicians speak about amnesty, and they think it's their big chance right now to get a shot at being a United States citizen. And part of it is like you can't really blame them, but it's our fault that we haven't secured our borders and we have too loose immigration laws. And kudos to this president for the courage of his convictions.
There's nothing to fear here, Charlie. We've seen these people come here before.
Criminals already identified.
And let's also be clear that immigration, including undocumented immigration, is up under Trump, and part of it is because he got rid of the asylum rule that Obama put in place. So this is something he needs to examine, and it does merit cross-examination, Charlie. But it is what it is.
All right, look, let's go to Roberts. Go ahead, Chris. No, I'm sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
The one thing I want to say, Chris, which is really important, is do not blur immigration with border jumping. Immigrants are people that apply, they wait in line, they obey the law, and they come here the right way. This is border jumping.
Charlie, you don't even know the difference.
There's a big distinction.
You should go back to school. You don't even know the difference.
Okay. Going over a fence illegally is not immigration.
Yeah. That's not what's happening with this caravan. They're going to a port of entry and seeking asylum. So you're
Baloney.
blurring
I'm
the
not
issue.
even going to let you finish.
That is not
on
correct.
To another topic. Take a look at this tweet by your old boss, Senator Chuck Schumer, Chris. I don't agree very often with Chief Justice Roberts, especially his partisan decisions, which seem highly political on Citizens United. But I'm thankful today that he almost alone among Republicans stood up to President Trump and for an independent judiciary. Republicans or Democrats?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Chris?
Well, what's wrong with that tweet, Judge? I mean, Judge, we don't always agree. Sometimes I agree with you, sometimes I don't. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Justice Roberts is sometimes right, and he's sometimes wrong. He was right when he stood up to the president about an independent judiciary, and Senator Schumer was exactly right
Charlie,
in that tweet. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Word.
Yeah, but look, the president was spot on. We do not have an independent judiciary in the Ninth Circuit. 79% of all cases that are appealed through the Ninth Circuit get overturned. That is a record in the country. It's unbelievable. And not to mention that there are judges, when they're appointed under Obama versus Trump, there's a big difference in constitutional interpretation. There's a textualist interpretation. There's a revisionist interpretation. And that's what President Trump is talking about.
Charlie Kirk, Chris Hahn,
like when
thanks
there's a
so much for
statute,
being
you
with
read
us
it.
tonight.